Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Wednesday that Hong Kong does not warrant more favorable treatment than mainland China, setting up potential U.S. actions that could damage the city's status as a global financial center and trigger a further deterioration in relations between Washington and Beijing. Pompeo's declaration could pave the way for President Trump to impose on Hong Kong some of the same economic penalties that he wielded against China over the past 2 years. In a State Department release, Pompeo said he had notified Congress on Wednesday that Hong Kong no longer enjoyed the full range of political freedoms that China had promised residents when it regained control of the trading center from Great Britain in 1997. No reasonable person can assert today that Hong Kong maintains a high degree of autonomy from China, given facts on the ground, Pompeo said in an annual notice required under U law. While the United States once hoped that free and prosperous Hong Kong would provide a model for authoritarian China, it is now clear that China is modeling Hong Kong after itself. The U statement comes less than 1 week after Chinese authorities signaled they would move ahead with legislation in the rubber-stamped National People's Congress, which would allow Beijing to directly quell anti-government protests in Hong Kong that have vexed mainland officials for years. Pompeo's statement reflects a bipartisan souring on China after a nearly half-century of engagement that began with President Richard M. Nixon's 1972 visit to Beijing. Hours after the nation's chief diplomat delivered his verdict on Hong Kong, the House of Representatives passed legislation designed to lead to sanctions on Chinese officials involved in human rights abuses in Muslim-majority Xinjiang province. The legislation, which passed the Senate earlier this month, now goes to the White House for Trump to sign or veto. He has not indicated how he will proceed. Though Wednesday's U statement has no immediate consequences, the president is weighing actions that could include revoking the city's special status under U trade law and imposing sanctions on Chinese officials involved in repressing pro-democracy protests there. That would allow the U government to impose the same tariffs on goods from Hong Kong that Trump imposed on Chinese products, a move that could imperil his already embattled trade deal with China. The White House has not said whether it will take this step, but Trump has signaled anger with Chinese leaders over the initial coronavirus outbreak and a desire to retaliate. More than 350 U multinationals have offices in Hong Kong, attracted by a legal system based on British common law rather than Chinese Communist Party dictates, as well as a seaside setting, some of the world's top restaurants and first-class educational institutions. The Hong Kong stock market includes more than 100 listed companies with a total market value of roughly $4.